Hello, I'm Richard Jack Smith of Real Talk Movie Reviews. As we put the lid on 2020, it's time for me to reflect back on my favourite film score of the year. Here are the 5 nominees. Going over that list, Bear McCreary's Fantasy Island and Eric Navu's Sam Sam, both very good efforts, weren't quite in the top tier. While Bear McCreary's effort was ultimately better than the film it accompanied, it was something of a conventional horror soundtrack, which was still very enjoyable in and of itself. The same thing could be said of Navu's effort. And so then we come to Austin Wintory's Tread, which I considered one of the strongest scores of the whole year. And indeed for many months it was the odds-on favourite. But ultimately what brought it down was it being rather sombre. I kind of think of it like this. In 1993 John Williams did Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. Now, which of those would I more readily listen to? Jurassic Park. And that's kind of how I felt with Wintory's score for Tread documentary. Extraordinary orchestrations, very inventive, quite dark, this sort of black side of the American dream, that very sort of rugged, sort of down in the thing happening. But ultimately, it does come down to an enjoyment factor for me with that. So that's why Wintory's Tread didn't quite make it to the very top in 2020. Then we come to Danny Elfman's Dolittle, which was wonderfully inventive, which is no surprise for this composer. Indeed, when he is in his fantasy mode, he's practically unbeatable, matching Paul Sortel and Bert Schefter for innovation and imagination. And so then we come to Dario Vero's The Inglorious Serfs. Now, Vero's willingness to sound different from anybody else really sets him apart from 85% of the composers working today. You can listen to John Debney and think, well, that sounds very John Williams. You can listen to Bear McCreary even and think that there's a lot of Jerry Goldsmith creeping in. But Vero is unique in that he comes from a very classical sensibility. He doesn't sound like anybody else. He's very original. He's creating new ways. His way with rhythm, counterpoint, tone, theme, and even the secondary themes, all very strong. He changes it up. He loves to create variety and all these different rhythmic shapes which make his work, for me, infinitely pleasurable. And so The Inglorious Serfs was my favourite score of the year, and it's one which, if you haven't come across it yet, I highly recommend. You can listen to it on Spotify, and you can even buy it on Amazon. I am Richard Jack Smith. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in 2021.